Films are windows, and windows of a special kind, allowing you not just to view the world outside, but also inside yourself. But why limit yourself to just one window, when there are hundreds of them around to offer more? I of course am talking about Hollywood. Now, no doubt Hollywood has made phenomenal movies, a plethora of phenomenal movies in fact, and it's the reason we love watching them. But it's not the only industry that makes phenomenal movies. Beyond these movies lie treasure troves equally capable of filling us with awe and wonder. World cinema, as we shall call them. Cinema beyond Hollywood. Be it Satyajit Ray and his Pather Panchali, or Federico Fellini and his 8.5, world cinema lacks neither exceptional storytellers nor excellent stories. What an ordinary scene, you might say. And no doubt it is. But the film this scene is taken from is not. It was voted the greatest film in the history of cinema in the Sight and Sound poll of 2022. This scene is not an aberration in the movie though, tracking the life of this widowed mother over 3 days. At an extremely slow pace and with extremely long takes, this film Jeanne Dielman reveals the profound within the ordinary, still, quiet and contemplative. It delves into routine, isolation, and the subtle shifts that can unravel a person's sense of self. World cinema has no dearth of films with such norm-defying storytelling methods. Films like Perfect Blue, Flea, an Oscar-nominated documentary from Denmark, and the Kurosawa classic Rashomon are just some examples of such gems within world cinema. Speaking of going against the norms, however, have a look at this iconic fight scene from the Korean film Old Boy. The protagonist just jumps into the action scene, one against many, starts beating them up, and it looks like any other action scene we have seen where the main guy just slashes through his enemies and emerges victorious with little to no harm. But the brilliance of this scene starts here. The hero is fallen, and it looks like the goons have won. This, however, is where the ridiculous realism of the scene starts to set in. He rises up, fights back, and then falls again. Now the hero has been punching walls for 15 years, so this is not unrealistic that he's able to fight these seemingly inexperienced goons. Notice how they're all tired by now, in just 1 minute into the scene, and how they gather energy again just to repeat it all. The hero realizes by now that it's better to fight from the sides and leaves from the midst of them. The screams, the delays, and the imperfections all make this one of the greatest fight scenes ever filmed. This scene has zero, absolutely zero cuts that goes on to show how brilliant the cinematography is. Cinematography is not just good pictures, close-ups, and wide angles. Just because a cinematographer utilizes 60 different techniques in 60 seconds, that does not necessarily mean the cinematography is great, because people tend to confuse complexity with greatness, and oftentimes wrongfully so. This scene from the Russian classic Mirror by Tarkovsky exemplifies what breathtaking cinematography actually means. A long take and a very slow camera movement create a contemplative mood. The natural lighting and soft colors give it a dreamlike quality. The camera starts tracking forward gradually, with the woman at the center of the frame first, and it tracks further, with the woman gradually fading out of the frame, revealing a man in distance. By not cutting and breaking the continuity of time, Tarkovsky captures the feeling and nature of time passing by, which is exactly what the film tries to explore along with themes like memories, war, and dreams. The initial placement and the subsequent removal of the woman from the center of the frame hints to the fact that the film's not about her, although she is important in the film. It's the protagonist's mother, and this scene is the protagonist's memory. And not just cinematography, world cinema has countless movies that are among cinema's best edited films. And this, ladies and gentlemen, the Brazilian film City of God, is the definition of film editing. The cuts are quick and crisp, establishing a sense of tension and chaos, contrasting well with the kind of music being played. The pace is fast, yet it has a certain rhythm to it. The shots are dancing with the music, in the process creating a montage that just draws you into the streets of Rio. This film employs match cuts and the shots smoothly transition, lending a certain visual continuity to the sequence. And even with such elaborate editing, it never feels overdone. Magical. Yet the magic on the screen is incomplete without the actors who breathe life into films. World cinema has some of the greatest actors to have ever acted in cinema. From the magnetic performances of Marcello Mastroianni to subtly passionate portrayals of Tony Leung, there is no dearth of awe-inspiring acting. Just look at this. Fear, despair, surprise, desperation, pain. The character has just been told something that evokes such emotions in him, and the actor Song Kang-ho gives these feelings a magnificent expression. Here's stunning Isabella Gianni in this creepy scene, and Bruno Ganz in this scene becoming Hitler himself. World cinema is a kaleidoscope of all the diversity that exists in the world. It shows how different people live, work, eat, dress, and celebrate. It offers glimpses into the historical triumphs and struggles of different cultures. It acquaints us with different languages, different art forms, and different religious and spiritual practices. It helps us make sense of what's Chinese and what's Japanese, what's Roman and what's Greek. But beyond that, world cinema shows us how similar we all are, despite these differences. To you and me, this is funny, this is sad, and this is scary. Most likely.